Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar that is about the MSc in blockchain at WCT University. I would like to tell you that this webinar will be recorded, so in case you have any issue with your internet connection, you can come back to the webinar and take it from where it got interrupted, or any other people that register for the webinar will have access to it, even if they're not with us today. So thank you and for coming and welcome to this webinar. I would also want to let you know that there's a Q&A facility at the bottom of the Zoom webinar. So please make use of that facility to ask any question that you might have about the course, and we'll try our best to answer in the time we have. So for today webinar, the speakers are myself, and I'm the academic lead of the MSc in blockchain at DCU, and Andrew Howell, the director of blockchain engineering at Blockdaemon, that is going to be soon graduate from this course from MSc in blockchain. Thank you, Andrew, for being with us today. I'm going to let Andrew introduce you to the blockchain world, to his own blockchain world at Blockdaemon, to some opportunities that they are there, and some future opportunities that he may foresee as well, and to his experience, his own experience with MSc in blockchain. So Andrew, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and you have the floor there. Thanks again for being with us.
No worries. Thanks for having me. Hopefully you can see my screen. Is that available?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So as Irina said, I'm currently the Director of Protocol Engineering at Blockdaemon. So I'm going to talk a little bit about just kind of blockchain in general, a little bit about Blockdaemon as a company, and then kind of how this relates to the MSc course from DCU. So just to kick off, what is a blockchain? So essentially a blockchain is a distributed ledger maintained by different computers on the network. So it's secured by cryptography.
Hi, Andrew, sorry to interrupt you. We can't see any slides there. We're just looking.
Wrong screen.
A Google Drive, yeah.
So, okay, here we go. Can you see now?
Perfect, we can.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
So great. So yeah, as I said, a distributed ledger maintained by computers on a network. So underlying the whole thing is a peer-to-peer network of different nodes, and they're secured by cryptography. So all of the ledger entries are cryptographically sound, and this kind of underpins the whole system. The typical kind of the typical way this cryptography secures the network is in the Bitcoin world would be proof of work, which involves kind of mining. It uses a lot of electricity to compute cryptographic hashes and kind of persist the data to the blockchain. And then we kind of have the new flavor of blockchain security models, which is proof of stake. So this involves kind of staking assets to a blockchain software, and then those assets can be used kind of to weight how the different nodes on the network get the opportunity to produce a block. And then there's also some other kind of interesting ones called proof of X, which basically means there's lots of different versions. So proof of space, proof of elapsed time, there's a lot of interesting things. And as part of the course, you will learn a lot of these things. So really, what does a blockchain do? Well, at a simplest form, it consists of accounts and transactions, and the blockchain keeps track of how these assets move around the network. And it's the one thing that really kind of is the innovation of blockchain is to prevent this double spend thing where, in digital world, you can copy things, but in a blockchain, things are essentially, single units, and the network and the protocol allows you to, cryptographically make sure that these things are only sent to one person at a time. Bitcoin was obviously the first, a lot of interest in Bitcoin over the years. And that was the first use case of blockchain. And over the years, we've started to see other flavors of this. So you started to see private networks like Hyperledger Fabric pop up that are used in the kind of enterprise setting. Obviously, Ethereum is a public network with kind of smart contracts and things like that that allow programmatic logic to run on this decentralized network. And then we've also got some kind of newer flavor ones like Algorand, which is cryptographically heavy. It's kind of pioneering some of the newer ways of doing kind of the proof of stake, proof system. And then kind of one of the kind of big innovations over the last maybe 3 or 4 years is the kind of decentralized applications that are built on top of frameworks like Ethereum and Algorand. And these are essentially applications that run on a decentralized network and can be used for a whole myriad of different functionality. So over the last year, there's been some really game-changing innovation in the space. Anyone who's following this industry has probably seen the rise of DeFi. So there's a kind of couple of different platforms here that we're showing, like Curve Finance, SushiSwap, Uniswap. They sound very, very crazy, but essentially these are platforms that do decentralized finance. So you can put assets into them and you can gain yield and you can swap from different protocols, and it's all done on the distributed ledger using smart contracts to underpin the whole thing. There's been a big rise as well in things like NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens. These are tokens that basically are unique and they can be traded across different blockchains. So you're starting to see a lot of rise in platforms there. Then one of the big trends that we're seeing as well in the industry is the interoperability between different networks. So at the moment, there's quite a lot of different blockchain protocols out there, and there's never going to be one to rule them all. So what we're seeing in the industry is the trend of interoperability and kind of multi-chain. So I've kind of put a few logos here of projects that are kind of big in the space. So Polkadot and Kusama, Cosmos, which is kind of pitching itself as the internet of blockchains. And then like Ethereum is moving to a new model called Ethereum 2, which is on proof of stake. And all these networks are now starting to work together. And the smart contracts that run on them are all starting to kind of be cross-platform and cross-blockchain. So we're seeing a world of blockchain of blockchains. So some really exciting stuff in the industry at the moment. So where does Blockdaemon come in? So this is a company that I work for. We're kind of a blockchain as a service company. I'm currently the director of blockchain engineering. And I'm also studying in the course, the DCU Distributed Ledger Technology course. So in our business, what we do is we primarily do infrastructure for blockchain networks. So we work in over 7 different cloud and bare metal providers. And we deploy blockchain infrastructure all over the world in a very decentralized manner. So we're not just in AWS, we're not just in Google, we're in pretty much all the clouds. We support about 40 different blockchain protocols on our platform at the moment. So you can deploy nodes, or you can get access to nodes that we deploy. And we also have quite an extensive staking business where we run a lot of proof of stake validators in all of the big networks. And we do this for institutions, we do this for exchanges, some of the top exchanges we work with, and we also do this for kind of retail clients who have assets that they want to stake and participate in the validation of some of these networks. Currently on our platform, we have about $5 billion worth of digital assets staked to infrastructure we operate. So we've got an extensive portfolio of clients and products and validators in all of the big networks. And we're also the infrastructure partner with a bunch of different top tier exchanges and custodians and wallet services and mobile apps and things like this. So yeah, that's kind of what we do at a high level. We're currently hiring. We have a lot of different roles within our company, and we're looking at kind of like building API products that can sit across all of the different blockchains and expose the universal API. We've got a lot of interesting opportunities in the DevOps space. So people who can manage infrastructure, who are interested in infrastructure, who want to work at the foundation level of all these blockchain networks. So, one of the great things about the Blockdaemon, especially, is we get to play with all of the blockchains before they're even big news. So we're involved in the early test nets. We work with the developer community, and we also give them feedback on how things can be improved based on our experience with all the blockchains we work on. And also we have the kind of an R&D department where we experiment with things. So all of the things that we learn through the DCU Masters course is going to be very essential for any of these roles. And if you have any interest, please contact me, Andrew at Blockdaemon, and we can see how things go. So how does this all work in relation to the course? So I've been studying in this course for 2 years now, coming close to graduation, working on my final year of practicum, which is interesting. And throughout the course, I've learned a lot of things, and also I've been exposed to things that I wouldn't necessarily see in my job. So one of the things that obviously, as we discussed in the blockchain primer slide, that underpins the whole thing is cryptography. And at a high level, cryptography makes a lot of sense to me. But now, thanks to the course, I understand it in a lot more depth, you know. And it's one of the essential things in my role to understand how these blockchains work and what makes them go and why are they secure. And as I discussed when we talk with a lot of the developer communities, it's very important that we understand exactly how these things are being used, how they should be used, and you know what kind of cryptography innovation they might have brought to the table. You know, because there's a lot of exciting things that you will learn through the course, certainly with cryptography, and you know it stands to reason that you know as you work in the space, you'll have some knowledge of this, and it's very good to understand that. We also learn a lot of stuff about distributed ledger technology, how it's kind of evolved, you know, and over the years, and like the networking that underpins it. And as someone who works with networks all day, you know, it's really interesting to see, you know, how things have evolved to build these blockchain protocols and how blockchains have kind of brought all these different technologies together in a kind of an innovative ecosystem. And obviously, one of the very important things is security. So there's, you know, this is very important in my job. You know, we run thousands of servers in all different data centers. How do you keep those secure? What are the processes that you learn to keep these secure? So, you know, touching on DevOps and kind of security in relation to blockchain is very important. And even just software processes in general, especially being in a startup. A lot of times you could, you know, you rush to get things to market, and security might be an afterthought, but, you know, this course certainly teaches you things that you should consider as part of that, which is essential for my job and essential for, you know, candidates who come out of it who will be potentially working in the blockchain industry as well. So as I say, they're essential skills, like that is really what you're learning. And that's certainly what has helped me progress in my career. 2 years ago when I started the course, you know, we were a startup company, and I think as participating in this course, it's allowed me to kind of bring my career forward and you know, bring the skills I've learned to the company I work for, which is great. And one of the cool things about the course is, you know, you're learning the building blocks of the new kind of a new digital system that is really only starting to take hold now. You know, blockchains have been around for 10 years, and you'll learn a lot of this through the course, how they've evolved. But really, the next wave of innovation is only really happening now. And I think this course kind of will definitely produce some talented engineers who have a very broad experience in a lot of different things. So kind of what have we been doing in the course? Well, you know, one of the cool things about it is you get to kind of do some very interesting assignments where you know, the things you've learned in the class, you get to actually try and develop something on them. And one of the things I don't necessarily do in my job these days is get very hands-on with development. So it's kind of refreshing to actually work on something. NFTs are a big buzz at the moment in the industry, especially the Ethereum community, where you've got these tokens that represent some sort of digital asset that's unique. So, you know, one of the assignments we had to build something on Ethereum using the Solidity smart contract platform. So one of the things I decided to do was try and build, you know, a very basic hypothetical NFT minting platform with these little characters, these little robots that have different skills, and you can trade them and things like this. And you know, by doing that, we get to experience how to build smart contracts, how to secure them, how to make them interact with, you know, a web application, and how you use like the tools that everyone in the industry is currently using. So like MetaMask and things like this. I don't own 97 Ethereum. I wish I did. This is all on testnet, which is great. So you get the ability to play around without actually spending any, you know, real digital assets, which is great fun. I really enjoyed that assignment, and you know, bringing that kind of knowledge to my role is also very beneficial for my career and also for the company. And I think anyone who comes through this course will also have a great kind of you know, what will the next innovative smart contract be? And you might actually, you know, come up with an idea as part of this course. So, you know, after you complete the course, this is certainly my perspective, you know, the companies at the moment are recruiting like crazy. The blockchain industry is really kind of kicked off over the last year, certainly the last 2 years. There's a new wave of kind of innovation. There's a lot of platforms being built. In my slide earlier, I showed, you know, DeFi platforms and NFT platforms and interoperability. So a lot of companies now are actually, they've built the things they said they would build a few years ago. And now it's kind of like, what is the next wave of products and companies that are going to be built on it? And from my perspective, I think we're at the kind of point of the internet, you know, where the Googles, the Facebooks, the, the YouTubes, they're going to be built on top of blockchain now. So, the experimentation phase is kind of over, and now, the platforms are maturing. And we're going to be building the next kind of wave of companies on this decentralized ledger technology, both in the private and the public sector, and also on the public networks, and also in private kind of networks. So there's a massive lack of people in the industry who actually have skills in these areas. And it's not just blockchain people who can write smart contracts, it's also things like DevOps engineers and people who can do data analytics on the data that you're seeing on the blockchains, solution architects who can actually join the dots between a blockchain system and a traditional system, whether it be a web app system or some sort of supply chain system. And then obviously you have the security specialists. As many of you might know, that there's a lot of hype around the kind of decentralized finance and kind of the monetary aspect of blockchain, but there's also other aspects of blockchain, not just financial products. So then, yeah, other than that, there's like hopefully out of this course we'll see like a pipeline of kind of skilled people who have the the relevant skills, and they can actually hone in on the kind of careers that they want. And it's not all about cryptocurrency, like I said. There's all sorts of things throughout the course that will definitely benefit you in the blockchain space. And yeah, as I discussed earlier, there's a lot of different things that are happening. So we're seeing like in the private world, and we interact with some companies as well in the private space that are working on like supply chain products or inventory tracking systems, and we help them bring it to market. And throughout the course, you learn how to use like Hyperledger as well, which is a big thing that a lot of these enterprise companies are working with in the background. Yeah, and there's a couple other examples there, like voting and digital identity. Definitely areas that we're going to see blockchain be used in the future. And as I said, there's a massive skills gap at the moment. The industry is growing so quick that there's going to be some fantastic opportunities for graduates of this course. So yeah, that's kind of my whistle stop tour of blockchain, the company I work for, and also the how I see the course benefiting people going forward. So thanks for that, and I will hand over to Irina again.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I'm just going to continue to share my slides from where I was. Okay, so I'm just going to build on top of the ideas that Andrew mentioned. As he said, the experimentation phase of the technology is finished now, so everybody agrees that blockchain is here and it's here to stay. And you can see here a stat, a very recent stats from statista.com about the spendings on blockchain solution that are projected to reach to $6.6 billion by the end of this year. And the forecast suggests that spending on the blockchain solution will continue to grow in the next year, up to $19 billion US by 2024. Moreover, this is a bit of older survey from last year from Deloitte. They basically pulled a sample of around 1,500 senior executives. And again, they got to the same conclusion that the experimentation phase is it's over. The technology is here and it's here to stay. The companies are investing a lot in the technologies. You can see that 39% in 2020, for instance, of the respondents said that they brought blockchain into the production. 55% mentioned that the blockchain is a strategic priority for them. And in terms of hiring, which is of high interest for you guys, everybody is looking to hire in this domain. They need skilled people in blockchain. So 82% of the companies, of the respondents of the survey stated in 2020 that they will hire in the next 12 months. They are looking to hire people with blockchain expertise. As Andrew mentioned, there is indeed a huge gap, a huge skills gap that was identified by Technology Ireland, ICT Skillnet, in collaboration with Blockchain Ireland, a gap that is at a national, so in Ireland, but also international level. So this master in blockchain was designed as a response to this skills gap. The full name, so the full title of the master is what you can see now on the screen, is MSc in Computing, Blockchain Distributed Ledger Technologies. It was designed as such to give the longest currency for the graduates, but it's a strongly branded master in blockchain. So I'm just going to refer to it as a MSc in blockchain from now on. It's the first MSc in blockchain in Ireland, and I think the only one so far. As I said, it's a response to a skills gap that was identified. It was designed in collaboration with the industry, so including the curriculum to make sure that the industry needs are met. It's a part-time course, fully online, and it lasts for 2 years. I'm going to talk a little bit now about the delivery mode. So the master is designed to have an asynchronous online delivery, which means that there are no timetable classes. It was designed as such to allow the working professional to learn at their own pace. I mean, we are aware that you are, working full time. You have to study as well. So far, the feedback shows that this is it's a suitable way of learning for our students. But also following feedback from the learners on this course, we are going to add more synchronous elements. We already have some. So these synchronous elements basically will be, in the form of webinars, of Zoom meetings, class meetups, Q&A session with each lecturer, for instance, in the form of exam prep session, but also, when the lecturer decides that there is a time to meet with the class and, organize such question and answer sessions. The platform that we use for delivery is Loop. Loop and also Future Learn, and also other platforms may be involved depending on the modules. But these are our two main virtual learning platforms that we use in this course. Loop is mainly used for the assessment submissions, but it can also be used for forum discussions. The Future Learn is a platform used for the main platform used for the content delivery for the modules. So the content is developed by the academics, by our academics in the School of Computing and Engineering in DCU, in collaboration with Learning Technologies. So all this content, all the learning content goes online on the Future Learn. Excuse me. You have the possibility to, to discuss in each step. There is a forum of discussion for each learning step there that is moderated by the lecturer. Other tools involved, as I said, the Zoom is the one that we usually use for synchronous elements, such as presentations, such as you'll have, meetups with the academic lead, which is myself, or meetings with the supervisor in your last year for your practicum. But other platforms can be involved, so we're pretty flexible with that. The assignments, and you've seen Andrew there talking about few of the assignments that he did during the course. They are hands-on, assignments. They are submitted online. However, the terminal examinations are in general, in normal circumstances, designed to be in campus. So this is the only kind of face-to-face element where you need to be in campus. However, in this current academic year, and even in the past academic year, for the last session of exam and the receipt exams, we designed exams to be online because of the COVID-19 situation, and it worked pretty well. All the students were really happy with the way the exams went. A bit of this about the structure of the program. So there are the total of 90 ECTS credits that are acquired throughout these 2 years of study. The academic year is structured so that you have 2 modules in each semester, with the exception of of the last academic year, where the blockchain practicum is added as a module throughout the whole academic year in the last year. I'm going to present the structure in details in the next slide. Each module has 7.5 ECTS credit, with the exception of the blockchain practicum that have 30 ECTS credit. Blockchain practicum is a similar component, a similar module with that we have in all our MSc in computing at the School of Computing. It's a module that lasts for a whole year, so that throughout the second year of study. The aim would be to develop a prototype blockchain software system to solve a real world problem, or analyze blockchain system and propose improvement. But really, you know, like it's quite an open module where you can do something that you are really passionate about in blockchain. It has to have a kind of a research component. You have freedom, you know, to select your academic supervisor according to your interest. You have freedom to select your topic, whatever you want to do. You also have, we are also open for you guys if you want to do the practicum in an industry setting. For instance, you might do something that is related to your work, so we can work with that as well. So as I was saying, this is the detailed structure of our program, of our master. Two modules in each semester. You can see here in year one, and then in year two, on top of the two modules that you have each semester, the blockchain practicum is added as well. You see, this is basically the whole list, the comprehensive list of all modules that you are going to study. Andrew touched more or less on most of these modules. So for instance, in the year one, you study professional research practice, which is a module that talks a lot about ethics, about law and compliance, introduces you to research methods as well. It's a module that it's pretty liked by our students. We have two modules of cryptography, and Andrew just told you how important the cryptography is, and we got actually good feedback on these modules. As you might know, cryptography is an integral part of the inner workings of blockchain technology. So these two modules are giving you important knowledge. You can see that you have a first module in the year one, semester one, cryptography and number theory, and then a second module on cryptography in year two. In year one, semester two, you'll have blockchain basics and application, which is an introduction to blockchain technology and how it can be used in various applications, and also touches on points like various attacks, that specific attacks on blockchain applications. It also introduces you a bit in Solidity, so it does the first steps in the development as well, and then it's continued. The development of blockchain system is continued in year two, semester two, with this module, developing blockchain system, a highly practical module where you're going to be asked to develop two consistent projects in blockchain projects. It's 100%. You can see between the brackets there are the form of, it's mentioned the form of evaluation. So how you're going to be evaluated in each module. You can see that the developing blockchain system has 100% CA, which means continuous assessment. So you don't have a terminal exam for this module. It's evaluated entirely through practical work, through two projects mainly. You'll do cloud systems, and Andrew talked about it in year one, semester two. Blockchain scalability, it's mainly a module that will give you knowledge of the many technologies that underpin distributed ledger implementations and smart contract architectures and how they scale. Various implementation approaches and acceleration techniques will be explored, and their energy cost and throughput will be evaluated as a function of the ledger size and transaction rate. So it's very interesting and important module as well. And the I think I didn't talk about the computer security, but Andrew touched on that as well. Computer security is a module that you do in the last year, semester 2. It will give you, hopefully it will instill in you a security mindset. It will talk about, it's a very general course which tries to touch on many aspects. It tries to comprise lots of material. And the aim would be to instill a security mind set. It's very important, you know, for instance, in coding to use security coding standards, introduce it to security testing. So it's a very interesting module, and it's a very important module if you're going to become, for instance, a blockchain developer. Many blockchain attacks were caused by software issues that would have been easily sorted out by just applying secure coding techniques from the very beginning. I think I touched on all the modules here. Now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the eligibility. So the blockchain is, this MSc in blockchain is addressed to IT professionals in employment in the Republic of Ireland registered companies. You'll have to have a level 8 honors degree or higher in computer science, computer application or related disciplines. But if you don't have any, if you don't have these entry requirements, we can also consider, you know, your experience in the industry. So if you can demonstrate previously obtained competency equivalent to the entry requirements, you'll be fine as well. I just want to mention also that for those of you that don't work in the private sector, so for the public sector, there is a way of entry in the course as well. It's just that it's not going to be funded by Technology Ireland ICT Skillnet, so you're not going to apply through them. You have to apply through DCU directly, and you don't get to be funded by Technology Ireland ICT Skillnet. The fees, how eligible candidates can avail of funding to reduce course fees to 2,750 per annum. So those of you who are not eligible for being funded by Technology and the ICT Skillnet will have to to pay the full cost for full tax for this master. And what do we mean by the eligible candidate? Are those awarded a place by the college and who are working in the private or commercial semi-state organization in the Republic of Ireland. So as I mentioned, those of you who work in the public sector, you can still come on the course through DCU directly. It's just that you cannot avail of the reduced course fee. What would be the next step if you're interested in the course, and hopefully you are interested? You can go online to this website, ictskillnet.ie, training MSc in blockchain. You can submit inquiries if you want, excuse me, if you want more information, or you can directly submit your CV for the consideration for the course. The applications are being taken already for this for the new academic year, for the 2021-2022. If you have any questions about the course, obviously I will address your question in this webinar, but feel free also to contact me directly. This is my email address, irina.tal@dcu.ie. I'm happy to answer and support any questions that you may have and support your application. So I think that's pretty much it about the course. I just wanted to say again, like Andrew mentioned there, blockchain technology is here now and it's here to stay. There are various use cases. It's not only about, you know, many people think that blockchain is about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency only, but there are many use cases for blockchain in many domains like supply chain management, food safety, healthcare. For instance, you might have heard that Germany now is implementing the passport, the health passport on a blockchain-based solution. In media and entertainment, in education, for the generation of different certificates for student records, maintenance, etc. So if you want to find more about exciting use cases for blockchain, I really encourage you to attend next week, Blockchain Ireland Week. There is a series of lots of events next week, amazing event with high profile professionals in this domain. We also have an event organized by DCU in collaboration with Technology Island ICT Skillnet. Andrew will be there again as well, but also other to-be graduates from the course that will share their experience about the MSc in blockchain at DCU. We're going to have also recruiters that will talk about the skills they need. Also industry representatives. We're going to tell you a little bit more about our research in DCU related to blockchain. So pretty exciting stuff. We hope to see you there.